Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to Lava Story. I guess since it's Sunday, we'll talk about, in her order that she filed against me, about church. Now, this also, I want to share several points to this. It's part of my problem with man and religion, which I will get to in this story. Um, but she said in here, somewhere right around here, I can't read this, and I got a moth flying around in my face, excuse me, or a butterfly, I can't tell which one it is. If you see it flying around on the camera, there's a moth or a butterfly. I'm not sure which one it is flying around my head right now. A lot of things flying around in my head right now. So when we first moved here, and she just immediately dragged me here, made me move here, and then ran off and dumped me here. I started looking for churches and went to a church, and I really liked the church. The pastor, I really enjoyed his preaching, and I really enjoyed the way the church operated as far as having interaction with the people. Why are you flying right in my face? Go away, butterfly or moth or whatever you are. Now he's on my leg. I don't know. Do apologize about that, but nature does what it does. People are not supposed to do a lot of the things that we do. This is one of them. So somewhere it's up in here, she talks about how she wanted to go to church and I wouldn't let her. I told her to go. I will prove that here shortly because I'm bringing you the text messages from this period and all of it. Like, here is the pastor advising me that they had COVID going through the church. Now, this is a very small church. Very small. One family who has like 10 kids, maybe 12, they are 3/4 of the church. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and like 10 kids. That is the family who started out with COVID. As you can see, got the name in here. Well, they had COVID, tested positive, but yet they're all still going to church. Now, another church here, just actually not too far from this church, but in a slightly bigger town, we're not cities, we're little tiny towns, they had open COVID church session and didn't tell anybody. And it made the news, and they shut the church down for a period of time so that COVID wouldn't spread. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to protect one another. If I learned anything from COVID, I don't know what to believe about COVID in itself because we were lied to so much about it. I still today can't even sit in here and go, what actually happened? What was that all about? And for a lot of reasons, and I don't know, make a whole nother video on things that I know, like the friends with the man who was the head nurse of the COVID hospital. They had no tests for COVID, but if you walked in there with a sniffle, a cough, a sneeze, a burp, a fart, they said you had COVID. It went down in the books as COVID, and they sent you home, and they couldn't test you for COVID. So how many people really had COVID? Or just a common cold? We don't know. Because in Toledo, Ohio, they shut down one of the main hospitals and turned it into a COVID-only center. If you went to any other hospital with any flu-like, cold-like symptoms, they sent you to the COVID hospital. But the COVID hospital didn't even have tests to test for COVID. But if you walked in there with a cold symptom, you went down in the books with COVID, and they got paid for it. Can't believe anything that took place during this whole COVID deal because we were lied to, and everything is so mumbled. I want to be an educated person. I can't be an educated person when I'm being fed false education. I mean, come on. So here was the message from the pastor. COVID's going through our church. Now, the problem I had with this is at Christmas time. There. This is the beginning of December. We waited 2 weeks to go to church. And when I went to church and sat down, people were coughing, sneezing, and were sick. And I said, wait, one person in a huge family had COVID and tested positive. Other people are getting sick. They're all in the same house. They're all in the same church. None of them are following any of the guidelines to protect the community. But yet, I'm supposed to feel safe that it wasn't COVID now 2 weeks later? No, it was. And they told me it was. They told me it doesn't matter if we spread COVID because the Lord, we're good people. We go to church and the Lord will look out for us. This is where I have a problem with man and religion. As man, we are supposed to still make our own decisions and make proper judgment calls to protect people. Just like I said, oh, now I can't find it. Well, somewhere in here I had a message where I told her, oh, here it is. Pull out words here. Playing with COVID was like playing Russian roulette. And one bad thing about COVID is if people came in, got sick, it took a couple days before they even knew they were sick. And you don't even know what happened to these people later down the road, because especially church during Christmas, more people show up for church during Christmas who don't normally attend church than any other time of the year. And many people, elderly people, were coming in that I had never seen before just for church Christmas service. No sign was put up out front. No warnings were given that we're sick. We have COVID. We've tested positive for COVID. Nobody warned anybody. They just let them come in and have open COVID church session and figure, hey, if you're coming to church, you must be a good person and the Lord is going to look out for you. That's not how it works. I don't sit here with a revolver and play Russian roulette and say, hey, I'm a good person. The Lord isn't going to let that bullet pull into the chamber. That's not how it works. We don't play games like that with other people's lives. The worst, just as, I don't know, all of it's bad. The father of that family who started the COVID in the church is a postal employee. And he still went to work every day with germs and COVID and spreading God only knows what through the mail. And these are all the things that we were told not to do. These are all the ways you don't look out for your community and you harm your community instead. If I've learned anything from COVID, it was who's got control, discipline, respect, and can follow the basic rules. I was amazed how many people couldn't just sit down for a few weeks and go home and relax, clean up their house, clean up the yard, spend time with their kids. No, people just wanted to play. No discipline, no respect. I blocked out quite a few friends because of it. I want to protect my family, and the only way I can do it is if other people follow the rules, right? We don't grab a gun and play Russian roulette and say, hey, the Lord will look out for us. That's not how the world works. Here we talk about how they warned us. These are messages I sent to my wife. You can see up here, I planned her to be my wife for life. That's what she was in my phone as. Because I'm such a horrible monster, right? I talk about how I follow the rules. How could nobody else follow the rules? COVID's not a game. Don't sit here and play games with people's lives. I never stopped her from going to church. I told her, you're more than welcome to go. I actually wanted to go find other churches, and we did start seeking other churches because I wanted to meet more of my community, especially what I was hoping were good people who go to church. Going to a very small church, the only family with children is the pastor, which he doesn't let his kids do anything. They're not allowed to watch TV. They're not allowed to leave the property. They're not allowed to have friends. It's very, this is part again where I struggle with religion and people. He's overly sheltering those kids and blocking the whole world out to those kids. And one day they're going to become adults and have to go out into this world that's getting even more out of control and get a whole entire pow all at once of it. That's not healthy for the kids either. The other family with all the children, they have so many kids that they don't have time to do anything. We've tried getting them to go out in the boat, tried getting them to go out and have fun, and they don't ever have time to do nothing. They're homesteaders, basically. They, produce their own eggs, their own milk. They have cows. They have a farm, and they have 10 kids. They don't have time to do anything. So let's go find some people who have time, like we do, to go out and play. I'm a horrible monster. Not only did I do that, I want to go to other churches so that we could be together and meet other people and grow with our community. But on top of all of that, I was so busy on my phone looking at stuff all the time that I'm going around trying to find activities for us to go and do. Like trick or treat with my kids, which I was not allowed to take them. She did not allow me. She went absolutely nuts. I wasn't allowed to take my 2-year-old and my 3-year-old out trick or treating. Oh my God. I'm such a horrible monster who doesn't want her to have friends and locked her down. I was on my phone, because, well, she was the one cheating. I can prove that because I have the text messages still. But I was on my phone looking for stuff for her to do. Here's wreaths of wine. Here, go meet some people. Not only did I find this for her, looking for stuff for her to go do and meet people, which I found many things that for her to go and do. Now, why doesn't this want to open? Well, see if this will open. Okay, good. I don't know why it just did that. I'm the one who even contacted the lady. This is from me. There's me. I contacted the wine and wreaths class and set up the class for my wife to go. Well, guess what? She drove halfway there, had a panic attack, and turned around and drove home and never made it. Again, that's provable. But I'm the one who's messed up. I'm the one with the mental problems, right? I'm the one with PTSD. I'm the one who's a liar, a criminal, and an abusive person, right? Well, let's just see how abusive I really am, because here is the message she sent to me about our son peeing and pooping on the back seat of my truck. And if you don't think I didn't laugh at it and she's the one who got angry, look at the language she gave to me. Cussing and swearing at me, right? Because I laughed about our son pooping on the back seat of my truck. And guess what? I didn't have to punish him. All I had to do was laugh. He laughed. We talked about it, and he never did it again. Wow, what horrible parenting I have, right? I'm such an abusive monster, right? That I'm the one who gets to just keep paying and paying and paying the price of it all. Including, in the end, possibly giving my life. Because I've had enough of this psychotic abuse to my children, and they are the most important thing in the world, and I will die for my kids.